Myself, Prince Agai Raja. I've been living in Australia for more than 10 years now. My background comes from India, and I have my lovely wife here in New South Wales, Sydney, and my parents are visiting us because we are expecting our baby very soon.
That's great. Congratulations. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Amidst the situations that we are having around the globe,
Yeah, that
I
is
think it's
true.
a critical thing.
Yeah, yeah, that's what. Since you said about the critical thing, can you articulate the COVID 19 context in Australia?
Yeah. See, at the moment, we have close to 5,600 plus cases in Australia alone. And in Sydney or in New South Wales, we have close to 2,600 odd cases, which is like more than 50 percentage of overall Australia count. And most of this has been spread through community spread. So we had very less number of COVID-19 in Australia coming from various places, but with the community spread, it has been spread like a massive thing happening across Australia at the moment. So there has been a lot of restrictions around every state and territories to make sure that this doesn't spread as fast as it is spreading in any other places like America or in Italy or in Spain. So I think government is trying to do the best possible measures in order to stop the spread of community spreading of COVID-19 at this stage.
So, what do you think are the impacts of this COVID 19 and the shutdown on business, on education, and on families?
So COVID-19 has not left anyone alone in this battle. It has taken everyone to the core. Like starting from the students who can't go to the schools and they have been just missing on their education. Good that we have got so much sophistication in terms of online education. People are able to study online, but how far it's useful for the students is a time to answer. Means time will be a best thing to answer this one going forward. But having said that, it doesn't make the students getting out of the school, but at the same time, it is helping them to study while they are sitting at home. But going to the other side of the story, like we have got hit by so many businesses. Cafes are not running, the restaurants are not running. People doesn't want to go and try out any new stuff at the moment because the job market is getting crashed. And the unemployment things are getting more now. The percentage of unemployments are more in the Australian market at the moment. So what's happening is that it has a devastating effects in every community for that matter, starting from people who are not able to go to work, from cafes to all the small stores. They've cut down all their staffs. And I think the IT guys are more beneficial because they can work from home. They are still getting paid. So I would say that I'm more luckiest person in all this scenario where I'm able to work from home, feed my family, at the same time I'm getting paid.
Yeah, yeah,
So I would
that's right.
say that in all this trauma, I think people who are able to work from home and support their family are the best positioned people at this stage.
So, what are the positive and negative impacts on families or communities also?
See, I think families and communities are coming closer to fight against COVID-19. I think everyone understands the importance of getting this out of our community at the earliest possible. It means that families are getting together, they are spending more time with each other, which they were missing with all the hustle and bustle happening around.
Yeah,
But at the same time, they are also trying to be more innovative in terms of cooking and sharing those community spread. And
yeah.
I have seen a lot of communities trying to help those in need in Australia, especially the students community, especially the people who are not able to earn their bread and butter. I think community has come towards a very positive way in order to help each other. We can see the empathy between each other and we can share those feelings of oneness in terms of all this hardship that's happening. On the negative side, we are losing a lot of people. The people who are less immune or who are more vulnerable in this situation are losing their life. And we should be vigilant in terms of not being like a messenger or spreading this virus across people or community. So it's better to maintain the social distancing and others reforms which government is trying to put through across.
Yeah. What are a few suggestions that you can give to children or parents to be very productive in this kind of shutdown?
Oh, that's $1 million question. I think everyone wants to know the answer for that question, isn't it? So the biggest challenge at the moment is that we have not been in this situation for a very long time. No
Yeah.
one has worked so long, like working from home hasn't been for a stretched period of time. So people had been working from home 1 or 2 days where they would be able to manage their children, manage their household, and also manage their work. Now they have been put into a situation where they need to maintain their children's education. They need to make sure that the household runs properly. At the same time, they want to deliver everything that's needed on your company as well. So it's very tricky how people are seeing every situation, right? Some are able to cope up with the multitasking aspects of it, but some are not able to cope up with it. I think time management is the key to the overall trauma that we are in. And I think if people are able to have some level of time management skills, or if they are able to be more dedicated in terms of what they wanted to achieve, and I think this could probably help them to get through this situation.
Some of my friends are asking me the relationship between China and Australia, because Australia depends most of its trade relations with China. Now that China, I don't know whether what is the position of China, whether it is open to the business. So, what is the impact that China has on Australia in this context?
See, from a China point of view, we have been getting a lot of trades from China. We have been importing a lot of stuff from China. So it's not only Australia. Every part of the country has been importing stuff from China. It's easily available. It's a mass production country, so you get it at a cheaper price. And at the same time, a lot of the businesses were making a lot of profits out of it. But at the same time, we have been getting a lot of students from China as well, because they have been coming here for their masters and also for undergraduation. But going forward, as the things are evolving and China has stopped its borders, and also the other countries have stopped their borders, the import and export is getting heavily impacted. And I think it has an impact on the economy overall in Australia and as well as in China, because they are not able to export as much as they were able to do in the past. At the same time, Australia is running short of a lot of supplies which are coming from China. It can be either from your surgical masks, your hand sanitizers, or any other products which are coming from China, has been completely hit by all this situation. That will have a knock-on effect on the economy going forward.
How does Australian government respond to this?
I think Australian government has done a fantastic job in the overall schema of things, because it's trying to protect every part of the community. It's not going to, it's not separating any community and saying that, hey, I'm not able to help you. But at the same time, it's trying to help everyone possible in this community, starting from the people who are on a daily wages, the people who have lost their jobs. They're just trying to make sure that the people have a roof on top of their heads, and they're just making sure the eviction laws are getting passed through. They put like $130 billion package in the market for all the job seekers and the people to be retained in their own job, so that when we come out of all these things in 3 months or in 6 months time, we would probably have a better economy to face.
That's good. What are the two or three primary lessons that COVID 19 teaches to humanity?
I think respect to each other is something which has been come over in the past. I come from a place called as Tamil Nadu back in India, where if we go back in the times, we have been always asked to keep our hands clean. We used to have a bucket of water just outside the house. So whenever people come from outside, they try to wash their hands and uh, sanitize their legs before getting into the house. And I think all these cultures are coming up. And even if you can see, people are not willing to do a handshake at this point in time. They're just politely having a nod on their head, or just having a vanakkam or namaste, as we say it back in India. So I think there is a lot of respect has come from the cultural aspects of things that we have been following and we have been trying to preach to the rest of the world, and now we see that that's been just adopted by the community as a whole, and the spirits are coming alive, and we are seeing that people are helping each other to come out of this situation, especially the government and also the community services.
So, talking about the traditional cultures, do you think humanity has come very far from nature centric life? Of course, we need all this technology and science, but what is one thing that you want to remind the humanity uh, after we phase out this COVID 19? Taking one thing about from the traditional life that we had, which was centered around nature.
Um, I think, to be honest with you, I think most of the people around the world are moving to being a vegetarian at this stage. A lot of people are boycotting animal products. That's one area where we see that people are moving towards nature.
Yeah.
They're trying to respect the farming culture as it's, and they understand that even with all the technology, what they need is the food on the plate, and they are trying to respect the farmers and also the farming community as a whole. And they're just trying to boycott the animal products. I'm not sure how far it is relevant to a COVID-19 virus, but people across the globe are trying to become more veg or a vegan perspective. That's a good thing to happen because people understand the value of environment as such, wherein which we were all running across the technology and all the gadgets. And I think there are some surveys which says that because of the COVID-19 situation for the past 4 weeks, the carbon emission has come down more than 40 to 50% across the globe, which is like a great thing, right? We
Yeah.
can still do it. We have been always saying that we are moving to a place where we are polluting our world. We are not doing any good justice to the environment. But see, if we are doing this one at least once a year or once in 2 years, we're still saving our planet for the future generation. Future generation would be really happy to have this one.
So you are suggesting a kind of 10, 15 days of shutdown every year.
Every year it makes the community to come together.
Yeah.
At the same time, you have all the environmental things to enjoy its own privacy
Yeah.
without the human interference.
Yeah, that's a great. That's a great suggestion. Yeah, since my students are there in different countries, around 60, 70 countries throughout the world. If you want to say something of your thoughts and feelings about this COVID-19 and also in general human life and how we should take it forward.
I think one thing is for sure is that we have been taking it granted our life and our family people. It's been always the case, but having going through all this situation, we always understand, and we are trying to understand that there is nothing beyond human relationships that we value. And I think if we can give back to the community as much as we can and live a life which is remembered uh, post this life what we have got, I think that's the best thing to happen. And the community will be always remembering you for the good deeds that you probably do to them.
Yeah, that's good. So, the last touch, if you can ask one question to COVID-19 virus, what will be the question that you will ask the virus?
Good question. I would say, what would kill you, actually? I think that's the question everyone wants to know.
Yeah. Great. Thank you very much for your time. Okay. All
Thanks
the
a
best.
lot.